But how terrifying would that be if you were the United States and you had a weapon that would just anally fuck someone?
Or like it goes up the tube in the toilet. You're just sitting there. You're like, I just feel.
Okay, imagine like there's a terrorist in a hut or something like that, yeah, and he's like, they're coming, and it avoids everyone. And just,
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cancellable Podcast, where the laughter starts and the cancel culture never starts.
No, what is this gay shit, man?
what's this McDonald's kind of opening?
TBS, what is it? Where the laughter starts
And the cancel culture never starts. Alright, fuck you. We're gonna roll it again.
Program?
Bitch, the AI suggested this. I thought I'm gonna
You
give
used AI? Fucking
for,
unethical.
for the 30 viewers we have here, already going to AI shit.
Mashallah, we jumped to 30.
Oh, we get like 50. Anyway.
No, I was talking to it and I was talking about the podcast and everything.
He
and
was
it
telling me
like,
to the chat, do you think we're ever going to be famous? You're supposed to ask me questions.
bro, it gets deep. But
It's like
anyways,
when first Siri came out, like all the kids were like talking, like, would you be my, do you have that?
Bro, do you know what's the first thing I did with the chat GPI? It's called GPI? GPT, yeah. The first thing I'm like, talk dirty to me. And it's like, I would do these things to you. And I'm like, what exactly? I would love you aggressively. I'm like, what the fuck? That's pretty hot though.
all right, can I do the intro again? I don't
Yeah,
want
sure,
to
sure.
crush you guys for that.
Sure.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cancellable Podcast. My name is Bardia. I'm here with Kourosh
What's up?
and Faisal.
Yo,
Now
That
this
was-
is you not trying to be gay.
that was so hard for me.
What's up?
It's gonna be hard here, right? Let it be hard.
Damn,
you know
dude,
what
don't
you
be
wanna
hard. Don't be hard on us. Like, what the fuck? For our listeners, that was dick getting hard.
Faisals dick getting
No, because
hitting the table.
I mean, you have to explain to them. Kourosh, every episode seems to give a very queen-like,
Flamboyant.
flamboyant, metrosexual kind of.
Oh, you said everything except the word. Just say it.
He's got a really fancy way of waving at someone, and
He just has a pizzazz. He just likes
he's
to
got
add
the
a
pizzazz.
pizzazz.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, before we start, disclaimer: we will be talking about conspiracy theories this episode, and we have to give this disclaimer. We do not want to contribute to the spread of misinformation. We are approaching this in a humorous manner. This is purely for entertainment. We are not validating or condoning any of these conspiracy theories because they can be incredibly harmful or misleading. We are not doctors, scientists, experts in any of these fields. Thank you very much. Now let's get to the
You have a
serious
lawyer?
part.
Like,
I was just about to say, did we
professional.
hire him as a? I do not. I can confirm nor
Last
deny.
episode we were talking about like wiping each other's assholes. This episode is like all like
Man, I had to like read the community guidelines so we don't like get a flag or warning.
To be fair, what we were talking about is like, I don't know about your conspiracy theory, but like the ones I found is proven to be a conspiracy theory. So I don't think they can.
No, proven to be a conspiracy theory is one thing. Like, I'm not saying anything
Yeah.
about it. It's just that we have to purely state that this is for entertainment and just discussing it, not spreading it as in like this is a fact and this information should be like we should be taken as a source for this information. You know what I mean? That's the only part of it.
Thank you. You read my mind.
Where'd your
And
nose? I can see that. I was like, that motherfucker needs some tissue.
Oh man.
okay,
So first of all, let's give an update on the fitness challenge.
oh shit, yeah.
I'm so fucking over it. Like today I woke up. I don't know if you noticed in the video. I'm so not enjoying it no more.
Bro, but no, actually,
wanna
you look
walk
better. You look like I mean, isn't you're not even shaking anymore.
Yeah, in the shower I'm not shaking, but I'm just like
I'm not shaking after, or I'm actually enjoying the cold shower when it's like few seconds in. But one of you were like, "Oh, I don't get the shock anymore." I full on get this when that cold shower hits. My heart like skips a beat. I'm like,
no, but like the first day I did it,
Yeah.
that was for like 40 seconds. I was like,
We all were. Look at the first video, and then
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
us now. We go like,
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot less.
Yeah, obviously. Like the first day, I was like shivering, like full on afterwards.
But today, especially today, first I did the fucking breath in, and then the next 4 minutes 4 or 5 minutes I was showering. I was just like, I'm so fucking done with this. I'm so done with my friends. And the podcast.
All my friends are dead.
I wrote like, so I should write day 9 for today, and you're like, it's only been 9 days.
It feels like so much longer.
Yeah, it does feel longer.
Bro, if you do what I do, which is do it at night also, you don't feel it anymore. Like, did you not see my videos?
Yeah.
Who said that it looked like some Russian guy jumping into a pond?
Of course.
Well, last night I come back from the fucking 10,000 steps. I'm covered in sweat. I go to take a shower. I realize my heater is fucking off. So I'm there trying to like turn on the hot water, and I still have to take another cold fucking shower. And I did not sleep well at all. So I'm not gonna be doing
I
what you're
actually
doing.
tried the cold shower because for some reason our building's water heater wasn't working that night. So
It's like someone came into your house and turned off all your heaters.
Faisal.
If I'm doing it, everyone is doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, I was not feeling good. Like, I didn't feel sleepy at all. I was fully alert. Like, I was just like cold.
I don't know, dude. Like for me, when I take the cold shower and then I hop into bed, it's like the room is so cold that your body automatically becomes so hot. You just pass out.
I mean, each, like, maybe it's different for
To each their own. Were you gonna say that?
No, it was like each
you
of us
scholar.
have a different. Each their own.
Yeah,
And the 10,000 steps one.
it's really getting in the way of my work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
No, it is.
Is it real? Someone
Listen,
here.
we already established you're going through a tough time. Like, it's with your work is tough.
You guys finish
Now
it-
is my week to be sad about
Listen,
it.
listen. You guys finish your steps by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock sometimes.
Last night I finished like 11:30.
That's last night. My
Same.
whole fucking week, I'm out till 11. People think I'm homeless. I'm like, looking around.
I mean, it really is affecting my work too, to be honest. Because I'm just like, fuck, I need to finish this.
But we're going to finish it till the 28th, boys.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
We're
getting
gonna
fucking
go all
waxed.
the fucking way, but like,
Honestly, I think if no one loses at the end, we should all get waxed.
You can kiss
Bro,
my
fuck.
ass.
Not
fucking
like a
not.
whole body thing, but like a few strips each.
Why?
Content.
I don't give a fuck about content.
Okay, if you want it for content,
I actually
we'll
might
wax
do
you.
it.
Yeah, I know you. You're weird.
By the way, you said that you're gonna start doing.
Wait, where are you going
The
with
way
this?
his eyes looked at me was
So,
like
anal
yo.
retraction?
No, you said that if it counts instead of cold shower, going to the beach like at 6 a.m.
Yeah, what a fucking.
Are you gonna do that?
I used to do it, then the water got too cold, so I stopped going. But now I was thinking that like,
Since
yeah,
you're
it's too fucking
Yeah.
cold.
I'm just imagining the video he's gonna send us. It's gonna be like the phone, the beach,
On the
and
beach.
then him running into the water and then getting out, coming to the.
Hey, guys.
Imagine.
I just imagine something much darker. He goes in, never comes out.
No, what I imagine
He's like
is that
floating.
the
Cause
video,
of death, Barry and Faisal.
the video gets like uploaded to the iCloud, and all we see is actually someone just grabbing the phone and walking away with it because he does.
Rajesh, what the fuck? Put that phone back.
Why Rajesh, man?
Jonathan, why?
Jonathan, Sir Nicholas, why are you taking this?
There's a lot of Filipinos that have those kind of names. Have you noticed a lot of Filipinos have like very either Portuguese or Spanish names?
Yeah, because
It makes
they were
sense.
territories, no?
Yeah, they were
Philippines
part
was
of territory. So
territory.
that's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
said Jonathan. So it was either, a lot of them are on the beach a lot of times.
Jonathan.
Was that a...
No, it's the pen.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. What do you think?
It wasn't like the day you were just spitting fire from there.
Come on, man. What
I'm
happens
telling you, before this fucking
You're
podcast started...
exposing-
Yeah.
I was checking the mics.
Bro,
okay?
I swear to God, this guy talked more from his ass than he did from his mouth.
It's my fault for trying to keep all the conversation
Holding
for
it
the
in.
podcast, and I have to test the mics, so I had to do something
Wait,
about
did
it.
you says all the mics like that we're talking
What smell like
through?
ass?
Damn, it stinks.
Okay.
All right. So conspiracy.
So, well, that's how I feel about the challenge. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I think it's going well, and I think by the end of it, we're still on for the bucket, right? The bucket sitting in the bucket. So I think it's going to be
Not
very
a
interesting.
bucket.
Wait, it's not an ice bucket challenge.
Is
it's
it called tub?
No, I mean, dude,
Cold plunge.
Bitch, what bucket you gonna fit in?
bro, you know what we used to do as kids? You ever have those huge bins? You know, the plastic ones that you have outside?
Yeah.
We used to fill it up with ice and
Oh,
jump
yeah,
inside.
yeah,
Bro,
that's-
that shit
yeah.
used to be.
But I don't know if we should like order something online and fill it with ice.
No, we can find a place. We can
I
find
think
a place
that's
to
gonna
do
be
it, yeah.
better.
Cold plunge.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
like
you're gonna
cold-
see three guys
In the
dead
back.
on someone's fucking driveway. You know, Oh my god.
Our heart stops because all the cold showers we've been
I
taking,
think
we
it's gonna
go
be
in.
By the way,
it's
no,
the first hypothermia
No, no,
death in
but-
Dubai.
No. By the way, like, so my brother and his friends did a challenge for themselves, and apparently you can rent a ambulance for like 200 dirhams an hour
To do what with it?
to make sure you don't fucking die.
Oh, I thought like
Oh.
we do a challenge.
I was
in the
like, what
ambulance.
was the challenge?
Oh,
Who can draw blood first while Kourosh is driving? Like you just keep.
no. So like my brother,
Have access to all that medicine?
I don't think it comes stocked.
of course it comes, bro. It's literally like two guys
No,
just chilling there.
No, I'm saying if you get it without the two guys
Yeah,
I don't
you
think
just
they're
get
gonna
an
give
ambulance.
you.
then it's just
an
a van, bro.
ambulance.
It's just
with a bed inside. Yeah.
it's like candy inside.
Whoa. I'm not getting
No, but bro,
Content, bro.
no, but imagine. So my brother, it was my brother and two friends, and they were doing a, what was it called? Like,
Doggy.
it was missionary, but they were doing the hot. What is it called? The pepper, that really hot pepper.
Oh, the
The,
pepper
the one,
eggs.
the one chip.
Ghost
the one
pepper.
chip.
Ghost pepper chip.
Yeah. So whoever won it would get a PS5. So one
Okay.
of their friends brought a PS5.
So how do you win? Like whoever
Whoever lasts the longest going for
Okay.
the hardest one, and they had ambulance, like two ambulance, just
They
like,
needed two.
no, because they come one driver and one like
I thought
you know.
two cars like ready to go.
No, just one of them, and the guy was just chilling there. I see my brother sweating, and there was a guy who's sitting with them. His name is Moshi. This guy wasn't even sweating, man. He was eating everything. He was like, he won the PS5, and everyone else was
Obviously, if he wasn't
Yeah,
sweating,
but there's a spicier version of it now.
Bro,
It's not the chip. So that one is like with ghost pepper. But this guy in California that created the ghost pepper, he keeps creating new ones. I think it's called Pepper X. That's apparently like, I don't know, 1 million Scoville is even hotter than the other one.
yo, I'm
So if you want, we can order that.
fuck, absolutely fucking not. Like
Pepper spray?
there was no.
I've been
way.
pepper sprayed before.
Military?
No, my sister.
What the fuck?
Bro, I
Maybe elaborate. It's like the
so
the
actually I volunteered, yeah. So I bought the ladies in the house all pepper sprays.
okay.
So
Is that legal to carry here?
I had got it from someone who went to I think I got it from Thailand, or a friend who went to Thailand, and you can bring it here. No one stopped us, and I didn't know that the one I had got was
Are
the
you sure you can
UN
say
pepper
this?
spray.
Are you sure you
Yeah,
can
it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. You know the UN pepper spray?
United Nations.
No. So UN.
That's what I was thinking.
No,
I was
so
like,
the
what's the
UN.
European version is better.
No. Just think of it like this.
I have some Afghani shit. You updated?
Yo, that's the good shit actually. The Afghani one.
What are you talking about?
I'm not talking about. Wait, what?
Pepper spray. We're still talking
Oh,
about
okay, pepper spray. Okay, I was gonna have to report your ass.
Yo,
Yo,
check me, dog. Like, check me out.
but so the UN pepper spray is meant for UN personnel because they can't use guns. So
Okay.
if someone attacks them, they spray it, and this is supposed to knock someone like the fuck out. Yeah. So imagine like if you're in the Congo or something like that, these guys with machetes running towards you. This is supposed to stop them in their traps.
Does it?
Bro, imagine me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the time we were in my old house, and I was living. This sounds so weird. I was living under the stairs. Okay.
And your sister pepper spray?
No, so I got it from my
Story.
sister. I got it from my sister, and she's like, "How powerful is it?" I'm like, "It's pretty powerful." And then I don't know how the conversation came, and she's like, "I'm like, I'll try it. Let's try it on me."
Okay.
And you know, pepper spray you think is like a gas, but it's not.
No, it's actual like.
It's like a liquid.
Yeah.
So she sprays it, and it just like straight away goes into my eyelid, like not
Straight
even
in.
bro, straight into my eyes. Yeah. And imagine my parents are sleeping upstairs, and you just hear me gasping for air, like, and you can't breathe because it closes everything.
Yeah.
And I just collapse on the stairs where my parents upstairs.
Like passed out?
Bro, collapse like I can't move. I can't see. I can't do anything like that. And it automatically makes you gag because it's fucking like it's weird as shit. Yeah. But you know what my sister tries doing? I'm like 3 times her size.
Yeah.
She tries dragging me into my room so my parents don't hear.
You be dead before that.
They come down, they see her dragging Faisal down.
Literally, bro, you can't even make noise. You just hear like an animal that's wounded, yeah?
Yeah.
And she's scared that my parents are gonna wake up, so she's dragging me into the room, and I'm like,
I've seen it in a different country in like protests and stuff, but
bro, it
never seen someone
literally-
volunteer for
No,
it.
man, I fucking sometimes don't use my brain. So I'm in the bathroom, and I think for like 4 to 6 hours, I'm just head over the toilet seat and trying, like I'm dousing myself with water in my eyes so I can see, and I can't see. And my sister goes, yeah, I feel really bad, and just goes to her room. And I'm sitting there for 4 to 6 hours. Like I told her, like there's nothing she can do.
Yeah, what do you expect?
So, you know, but it was literally like, it was so effective. So
I've seen people get hit by bear spray.
Bear spray is like pepper spray.
Yeah, but
it's
I imagine it's stronger.
But imagine bear spray. It's less of an effect for us because, you know, canines and bears have like 10,000 times better smell than us. So it doesn't have to be that potent to us. But this is meant to take down a human, which means like it overrides your full senses.
Have you noticed every episode you give a story of how a family member abused you or wronged you? The other one, you got waxed, your dad bailed at the end. This one, your sister pepper sprayed you.
So this podcast is basically a therapy session for Faisal.
It's a house of cards. But it's I volunteered. I literally said, let's try it.
All I'm thinking about is someone coming at someone with a machete, and you're like, fuck, and then you shake the camera. You're like, 1 second, fuck.
You don't even have to shake it. You have to shake it, dude.
You don't have to shake it.
You know, you can even make your own home pepper spray.
My friend did that and tried it on himself. He fucked himself up.
With like Tabasco, like
no. So you literally get some pepper. You put like there's literally YouTube videos on how to make it, and you can make it really strong. And you just need that spray. You know the spray you can
like the projectile, like the
any spray. You just have to turn the knob.
Yeah.
And guys make their own shit.
Yeah.
You're walking around with like a Dettol spray, like it's just red inside.
I said back up, man. I said, bro, is that raid? Why'd you look?
I don't know what you're looking at.
You looked at it too.
Like, see how convincing I am? You see that raid? I'm not no cockroach. You are a cock though.
Took a different turn.
No, Dokhanchi did that. Like he made one, and he was like, "Let me see how strong it is." And he tried it on himself. He fucked himself up for like
himself.
Yeah,
that's a bad way to try something.
Yeah,
you never see like scientists in the lab injecting themselves with it. Like they always find someone else. They give them like $50, and
unless it's not like regulated.
Or they say monkeys. Someone had sex with a monkey.
Or that one they may have been themselves. Someone broke into the lab.
Who the hell had sex with this monkey?
Yeah. Why are your
pants
off?
down?
Why is the monkey like doing this with her hair? Like towards you, like playing with her hair.
There was a comedian that said like that. We're talking about AIDS here, right? So like people said that was the origin story of it, right? Of how it started.
Fucking a monkey thing.
Yeah. Do you know how fucking strong a monkey is? There was a comedian that said like, if a monkey didn't want to have sex with you, it would just rip off.
Yeah, but like if you search on the internet, there's a whole bunch of videos of people having relationships with animals. So maybe the monkey was into it. And who knows, maybe the monkey fucked the person.
I mean, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, but
I like how you said relations.
Yeah, but there's like weird video. This fucking some bitch that married the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Someone married a fucking toy. What was it? Like a
animated assistant, right? The Japanese guy you're talking about?
No,
this fucking woman balloons and shit.
No, this woman like married a fucking like sex doll or whatever, and said the doll cheated on her or something like that. It was so fucking weird, man. Like it was
like your neighbor borrowed the sex
doll.
No,
as in like they were like, and then like bro, all I saw was pictures of it. Like this person got married to a fucking doll, and there was like a fucking baby doll.
What?
And like they had baby, and then she claimed that the fucking doll had like cheated on her
and gave her a piece of shit like that.
Man, like I honestly didn't want to scroll through because the level of idiocy. Someone tell me the word before I fucking Tell me idiocity.
You know, I'm gonna give you a symbol of stupidity. Idiotic. There you go. Idiocity, bro.
Idiotic. It's
fucking idiotic, dude. You know what's fucking disgusting though?
What?
When I was in Japan and they have these. So in Akibahara, they have all the animated stuff, all like animations and stuff like that. They have sex shops there. And bro, no joke. Walked into the sex shop. Saw all Arabs who didn't want to act like they didn't knew each other. Yeah. And
Muhammad!
Bro, wallah, I swear. I walked in and I saw three.
Muhammad 2,
I walked in, I saw 3 guys from Jumeirah. I swear, like, I was looking, I'm like, mashallah, shabab, what are you doing here? And I swear to God, on the wall, there was an adult sex store.
Best customer.
No.
Muhammad.
No, there was like an...
That's my family, man!
You Aladi? Oh wow! You
Cousin?
number one cousin.
Uncle.
Bro, imagine on the wall there was like sex dolls. One of them being like someone who's like of age 19, 20, whatever. Then it got younger. Then it got younger.
Yo.
And it got even younger.
Whoa.
Bro, 4 or 5 year old dolls.
Maybe it was a midget. Trying to justify.
Difference, man.
Oh, you
Maybe it was someone who was 28 years old in a body of a 5-year-old.
Look, I mean, I only protect that relationship because there's a personality behind it. You think a fucking doll has a personality?
Bro, that's just.
But yeah, man, they had kid dolls and they had old people dolls. And it was fucking.
I mean,
scary
old
as
people
fuck.
at least is legal, man. Like
The 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds.
that's just way too.
Yeah, but
far.
then we get to the argument that would you rather the
Them doing it on a
people
doll.
that are doing it like they can't control themselves? Gets back to the same argument we had before that if it's like a compulsory thing that like they can't stop themselves,
Yeah.
would you rather them fucking a doll or your child? Like, you know,
A doll.
You know,
Yeah.
he said it so right, but so like fucking not subtle. He's like, would you rather them take it out on a doll or take it out on your Samantha?
but also the other argument is would them doing it with the doll get them more excited about doing it in real life? Like, so I don't know. I'm not defending or like I'm just like
No, I
these are
get
the
what you mean.
arguments.
You're putting a question out there.
Yeah.
Perspective, yeah.
You know,
But anyways,
Anyways.
should we get into the?
I guess, sorry, I just want to say this, like, anyone who purchased that, like, below 18-year-old doll
Should be
for
identified.
sure goes on a list.
I don't think so in
100%
Japan,
legit,
bro. I
yeah.
don't think in Japan.
What Japan is a fucking civilized country. It's not like it's just fucking, I don't know.
Good point.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck he did,
The
but
man's taking off his shit.
And just let me do my thing, man. Every time I do a movement, everyone has to point it out. Just the
Well, I mean,
camera's
if you do
on-
this, you're looking at the camera and go,
Yeah, but the camera wasn't on me. Now it is.
but yeah, let's start.
Yeah.
Okay, conspiracy theories.
Let's do
But not
this.
necessarily even conspiracy. Just shed that. Yeah, maybe conspiracy. I don't know.
yeah,
Shit,
Do you want
man.
to start or should I start?
you start.
Okay, so I got two for you. One is about UFOs, and one is about a secret program run by CIA back in the 50s. The CIA one, I researched it a little bit more than the other one, so I think I should start with that one, and then you guys tell me if you've heard about it or what you think. Okay, so the name of the program was MK Ultra. I heard about this on the Joe Rogan podcast, and this guy wrote a book on it. The name of the author is Tom O'Neill, and the name of the book is Chaos. The guy spent 20 years researching this topic before he put the book out. He went and tracked down all the financial records, anything that was public. So the program started in 1948, 1949, and it went on till 73, 75 that we know of. But we don't know if this was ever stopped or like there's not really a clear answer to it. It was also known as Bluebird, Artichoke, and then later on MK Ultra. And the purpose of this whole, I don't know what you want to program, was to see if you can create like mind control or brainwashing in people, control their behavior, and potentially arm their behavior without them ever knowing it's happened or having any recollection or memory of it.
Like it's like the whole
Sleeper cell.
sleeper
Yeah.
agent kind of a thing that they
Yeah, but
they
a
said-
sleeper agent is someone that you like raise them as an agent, then you plant them in a community.
Yeah.
They're deactivated for years, and then suddenly they like, for example, Russia will train someone from a young age, sends them to America from like age of 18, 19, let them be there till they're like 35, they have a family and everything, and then they activate them.
No, but there's also another way where they actually sort of train you, but then brainwash you in a sense so you don't remember anything.
Forget it.
To forget it. So you like, what's the best spy? A spy who doesn't know he's a spy.
Okay, so this is slightly different, is that there's no training involved, as like you're not
It's
volunteering for it.
experiments, basically.
Yeah, so the way they think it started was people are coming back, if I'm not mistaken, from the Korean War, the POWs, I think they call them, and they had memories of using chemical weapons in the war, but the U.S. government never actually used chemical weapons in that war. So from that, they concluded that there was some experiments done on their soldiers by the other governments, whoever it may be, the Chinese, the Korean, whatever it was, and they somehow planted memories in their head. So this is how they think this program started. It was US's like defense mechanism to see how to stop it, and then later on how to do it to other people.
Wait, just to elaborate. So, like the soldiers who fought in the Korean War, like U.S. soldiers, when they came back, they had recollections.
They had like horrible memories of false events that never took place.
Okay, and this like 100%. Like,
listen, these aren't stuff that I researched. I didn't research in depth.
Yeah,
these are stuff that I heard from the guy that was on the podcast.
But can I?
So what inspired the?
So this is what he thinks inspired the guy that researched it for 20 years. This is what he thinks inspired it.
Sure. You had a question though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, it comes down. So I'm a very big conspiracy theorist. I like to read them. I think it's very interesting to look at both sides.
Have you heard of this one before?
Yeah, of course. So again, you don't know, especially when it comes to the government, when it's in war times, what they can be releasing and what they'll say, oh, we never had any idea what that was going on. Like if you talk about our soldiers came back and were saying things that didn't happen. It could have happened, but again, you know, you tend to point these people out as crazy individuals. And you'll see now, as you continue talking about this, you'll see how the government pinned it on many other people. But then agents come out. I think maybe you know this, in the US, there's like a certain amount of years until they can release documents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so anyway,
classified documents.
Yeah. So you can continue. Anyway.
Yeah. So, well, as I said, this started in the 1948 area, and it went to Senate in the 75.
Okay.
And the stuff that came out in 75 was related to like how it started in the beginning, or how, at least as far as they can tell, because all the documents were destroyed. Majority of documents left were just financial records. But let me go more in depth into it so you know exactly like what was happening.
Korean War or World War II?
The guy said Korean War.
Post World War II.
Yeah.
Okay.
World War II finished in 1945.
That's what. Okay. Sorry.
No. It's okay. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know a lot of information. It's just what I heard.
This is not. We're not spreading facts. We're just discussing shit. Like.
So they did these. They did this operations on like prisoners, students, hippies, military people, and also Johns. I don't know if you know what
John Doe's.
No. Johns, as in people who go to brothels.
Yeah.
Like men that you don't know their identity, but they go to like prostitution houses and stuff.
Similar to John Doe. Similar to
John Doe's are people who are missing.
No.
People
John
who
Doe's
are found but have no identities.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But these are people that live their lives and whatever. It's just they go fuck bitches, prostitutes, whatever.
Let's go fuck bitches.
Get money.
Yeah.
Get experiments. Fuck bitches, get experiments.
So when the documents came out, majority of these people, they didn't know they're involved in this program. And what they mostly would do was they would, for example, with the John experiment, it was called the Midnight Climax operation. They would bring these guys into prostitution houses. The prostitutes would give them LSDs, and the scientists or the people who observed them, they were behind one of those like what they call
double glass
mirrors,
mirrors.
That's fun.
and they see how like their whole sex process and like how if there is something there to control people's mind with the LSD experiments, because this is when first LSD came out, and they estimate that it was done in over 80 institutes, a mix of the Midnight Climax like with the prostitute stuff and just other like student experiments that they labeled it as like for fucking migraines or for this study for eyesight or whatever, and they would just dose people with LSD without any regard. No one knew what the side effects of it was. So I told you that part, and then like one of the stories that, for example, came out was that this husband and wife, when they have children and everything, apparently their AC breaks down. So they go to like a bar. I don't know what year this was in, but I imagine in the 50s. They go to the bar, the kids are playing outside, the husband and wife are inside, their 3-year-old daughter goes missing. After a few hours that they realize the kid is missing and everything, they form a search party, and then as they're searching the area, they find this guy that comes out of the jungle or whatever area it was, all scratched up with no recollection of who he is, what he's done, nothing. But he's like bloody everywhere and everything. They go look around more, they find a 3-year-old kid dead. And the guy has no recollection of this. Later on, before the guy goes to court, this guy shows up. His name is Jolly West, which later on it turned out that he was one of the guys involved in this program as like one of the scientists. and he kind of squeezes himself into like the psychology team that assesses the guy before he goes to trial. And there's a record that the guy injects him with something and brings out the memory out of this guy, that he finally admits that he killed the child once he remembers.
Yeah.
The same guy in 1955 sends a letter to
Jolly West guy
sends a letter to one of the CIA, like, I don't know, head of department, whatever the fuck you call it, stating that he has discovered a method to remove true memories and plant false memories, and it's reversible if he wants to, basically. So this kind of same guy, the other story, suddenly a memory comes out, which you can't really prove that like it was a true memory that he blocked off, or if it was a false memory he planted, the guy actually never killed the kid.
Yeah.
So they think there was a lot of experiments like this that went south. Another guy that was involved in this, his name was Roger Smith. I don't know what capacity he was, psychologist, fucking CIA, whatever. This guy was involved in experimenting as well. And the coincidence is Charles Manson was seen with the 3-4 girls that was in his hippie compound or whatever.
They all were on LSD.
Yeah. So if you watch the movie Once Upon a Time, obviously they changed the history and how it happened.
Yeah.
Did you watch that movie or
Once
not?
Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Charles Manson and that whole community of hippies, they were seen for like 2-3 times a week for years, go into his office. No one knows for what.
This Roger Smith guy.
They go to the Roger Smith guy. And it was like a medical institute that after this book came out, after 30 years, the place just shut down suddenly and it disappeared. But also like leaning into the Charles Manson thing, because he had a lot of wild theories, and everyone knows that there was a lot of LSD involved in that whole that whole community he was in. So they show that like in Charles Manson was put in prison a bunch of times between 67 and 68 up to 69, and every time without explanation he gets let out. And apparently he had like unlimited amount of LSD, and after they realized that a lot of the techniques he used to give the LSD to the girls that were like his followers was very similar to the methods that later on they discovered was part of this MK Ultra thing. So a lot of people think that Charles Manson was like it was kind of like a part of this program. So that was, I don't know, that was pretty interesting to me, that like people that like.
But you want to give a bit of a background of who Charles Manson is?
I don't know much about it. I just know. Okay, go ahead.
I can. So again, I think this was in Los Angeles. It was in Los Angeles.
So these experiments were done all over
No,
LA,
but
San
Charles
Francisco.
Manson was, I think, either in
I think San Francisco.
So
No,
California
he-
state, like it was
California,
state of
California.
California.
the Hollywood sign is in Los Angeles, right?
Los Angeles.
Yeah, okay, so it's there. Charles Manson, like his whole life, was someone who was sort of a charming guy, very small, like a small of a man, but had way of talking with people, and charismatic in a way. And what he used to do was, again, this was at the time when MK Ultra was at its height. Well, I mean, LSD was at its height, and people were being given it, voluntary or involuntary. You know, they even used to do it in universities. They'd say, "Oh, it's a placebo," and they give it to them. So Charles Manson himself, you know, at the time, you had a lot of young girls going to Los Angeles to become movie stars and such. And for some reason, Charles Manson had access to an old Wild Wild West set that was in Los Angeles.
Kind of the way they showed it in that movie.
Yeah.
Once
So,
Upon a
but
Time
that's
in
the truth.
Hollywood. Yeah.
And he used to bring these girls, all these girls, and guys also, by the way. There used to be guys that were there. And he would give them these drugs. And when they were on the drugs, he himself would not be. And he would sort of play with their heads, saying that, you know, so he used to talk about Helter Skelter. And I don't know if you guys knew about Helter Skelter. It was a Beatles song. And the song was basically talking about, a lot of people interpreted it in the way that there was going to be coming a race war. So this race war was coming, and you had to be prepared because it'd be blacks against whites, and you know it would end the world. And a lot of the times, Charles Manson would have these kids, put them all on crazy amounts of drugs, have sex with them, have orgies,
kind of like guided trips.
Yeah, a guided trip where he'd take advantage of them, right? And a lot of the times he would ask them for acts of devotion. He'd be like, Helter Skelter's coming. We're going to have to, we have to be the ones to start it because the blacks are going to get us. They're going to win this war. So if you've seen the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there's an actress who in that movie they were targeting in the beginning. Yeah. In real life, it doesn't go as well as what happens. Instead, they scope out her house and a couple of other people's houses before.
The name of the actress was Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Apparently she's married to a super famous musician, I think.
No, he wasn't a musician. He was a director. Director, okay, yeah. And so what happens is that nights before the murder, they start going into people's houses and rearranging their furniture. So imagine you go to bed, you wake up, and your furniture is all completely different. Because they want to fuck with your mind. Yeah?
That does fuck with your mind.
And then I think a murder happened before they went to go kill Sharon Tate. But when apparently Charles Manson was there telling them, listen, now you have to really prove to me that, you're part of this and you're going to commitment. So he gave, it was 3 girls, if I'm not mistaken, and 1 guy. And they were having a party at Sharon Tate's house. And they just walked in. She was pregnant, like extremely pregnant. And,
stabbed the shit out of her.
Basically, put them all together. And, she was like, please, I'm pregnant. Please, I'm pregnant. And the guy and the girls basically killed her with her baby's umbilical cord. They ripped her guts open while she was alive and then choked her out with her own umbilical cord.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, it was very fucked up. They killed like they did horrible things in there. And they even apparently he said to Sharon Tate, and one of the girls confirmed, it was like, I'm the devil come to do the devil's work.
So basically the conspiracy is that although they can't 100% prove this, Charles Manson was somehow connected to this MK Ultra program. There's another example of by the way, there's like a shitload of documentaries on this, on the MK Ultra, on Charles Manson, and also the next one is, have you heard of the Unibomber?
Yeah.
There's a documentary on that one as well. So the Unibomber case is actually it's actually pretty interesting. The guy's name is Ted Kaczynski, and he's had a very rough childhood. So if you look into it, when he was a kid, he apparently gets a rash or something. The parents take him to the hospital, and they quarantine the guy for, I think, about 2 months. The dates aren't very clear, at least in the amount of research I did. And apparently in that 2 months, he was completely separated with his parents, no human touch, to like a 5-year-old, which I think
it was anthrax, right?
They couldn't. I don't think they figured out what it was.
Maybe they suspected anthrax. That's why they separated.
Yeah. So they think that plays a big role into like who he became, because like when you're a child and you don't have like human contact with your mother or whatever. But also he was part of a Harvard study, LSD study, that they think that also played a factor in
like a trigger, like catalyst effect.
Yeah.
Like
So
trigger.
this is like 2 examples of these are pretty significant, like in terms of like this kind of stuff. They're pretty significant, like part of the American history. And 2 of them, at least the ones that I could find in the amount of research I did, were connected somehow to people getting LSD willingly or unwillingly, and like causing fucking horrific shit after. Because the Unibomber guy sent bombs to like fucking a bunch of places. If you watch a documentary or even the series they made,
I've watched the series. I'm not.
But again, it's not something that's so outlandish that the government or a branch of the government would be dealing with this stuff. In the time of Pablo Escobar and his son literally said, we had CIA agents coming to the house and telling us how we could beat other cartels, so then we could be the kingpins.
There was a movie with Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah, but
American made, I think.
I think
the
I don't
pilot,
know.
right?
Yeah.
Barry Siegel or something.
Barry Siegel or something like
that's
that.
based on reality as well.
No, it is based on reality, and it's documented.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the U.S. used cocaine to fund the CIA,
militia groups, to
fund the CIA.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that. Again, it came down to, at the end of the day, there was a mission that needed to be done regardless of human life. And I think that, LSD and this kind of stuff, in the 70s, you see a lot of, there was flower power, and you had, people, and the 60s also,
The whole hippie movement.
yeah,
in
but you
general.
also had like a wide range of drugs that were even available to people. It wasn't considered something that was, you know, how do I say this? Something that was illegal. You could do it. And that was the age of experiment. And that was the age of so many things coming out and being an issue. So I get completely that, at least for me, I wouldn't be surprised if the government was involved in this.
I mean, from how the facts are pointing, and not facts, and how like these are pointing at, and everything kind of shows that like there's a good chance that they were.
Yeah, I mean, look, like at the end of the day, it's
it's proven that the government was involved in this. So the head of the CIA at the time, I didn't write down his name.
J. Edgar Hoover.
I don't think it was Hoover. No, they mentioned his name in the podcast I was listening to. But I think at the end of his term, he destroys to like demolish all the research papers and everything, so you can't find evidence of it. And in '75, which is apparently when it stopped, as far as we know, this case went to Senate, and like it had to be defended and all of that. And it's very clear that it's a. That's why I didn't know if it's a conspiracy or not, because it's kind of like proven, at least to an extent of it. We don't know all the details and like what the research.
I guess-
like what was the.
I think
conclusion
it was a conspiracy that was proven right.
Yeah.
Or it could be that there is still a conspiracy theory surrounding that, meaning that we don't know if it stopped at 75. Maybe it's like gone even to deeper like roots and everything like that. Like now it's not no longer just because there is this whole thing that says like, okay, it's not, you don't need LSD. Like through social media and all the technology that we're exposed to, like all these like hidden stuff that could be targeted at people, like in general, it could in a way like shape
The thinking of the
the
population.
state, like the
thing is that
perspective.
it's
I
a
think
lot of
anything is being militarized. I think anything, like
Yeah.
literally the way you deal with your social media, the amount of access it has to your life, to your thought process, to I think for 100%.
How you think, where you go,
I
what
think
you search
100%
for.
it's being militarized, and I think there's no doubt that someone's studying it, someone's trying to make it in a way to manipulate. You know, like come on, look at your Instagram now. When you write couch, the next 40 to 50 advertisements are about the couch.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like,
Well, I love that. You know why? Because it's so easy to fuck with someone's algorithm. Is when they're not paying attention, go on their phone and search for some wild ass shit. And next day, there's gonna be advertisements for it. And especially in a case that, like, for example, Barry that's married, you can go search for some like wild ass shit, and then the next day he's sitting beside his wife, is all like,
Please don't
but-
do that to me.
No,
this
but-
and that. And, like,
no,
I don't
but
know
Oh my
what
god!
I'm
If I get targeted that shit, I'm like, because immediately whenever I see shit, like, because like you know how we follow like meme pages,
Yeah.
You know the fucked up shit that they put,
Yeah.
Like when I'm like, what the fuck, right? And like I'm barely on social media, but like when I am, like obviously
fucking-
not sitting next to me, I'm like,
but-
yo,
but
like
that's-
what is that? Like,
you see, you make it lighthearted like that, right? But the thing is that, think of it like this, right?
the essence of it is fucked.
No, but think of it like this, right? Imagine tomorrow, Kourosh, you want to become a politician, but you don't meet the agenda of whomever is in control of whatnot.
Clearly.
They have your profile, your data entries. They have everything. You one day go onto a website and you were curious. You wanted to check something. I'm not surprised that would be available to the public. You know.
Yeah.
So
Good
that is something that is very scary, because at the end of the day, and now I've dealt with companies that deal with people's data.
Right.
You know, and you build a persona, like a persona on someone, and you know, there's an example. You and me will not have the same third page on Google.
yeah, of course.
You know, it will always be different,
Yeah.
and it's categorized to each person.
Based on your search history,
Your
purchase
search history, you know,
age.
Cookies, like that's basically what it is. Like,
no, but even
like,
removing cookies, they have found a way.
If you block anything, everything,
this
still
is-
affects
of
it.
course.
Because your profile, your IP address, all of this is marked. And that for me is terrifying, because at the end of the day, again, you really don't have secrets, and that's why so many people try to, you know, you have these doomsday preppers and these guys who are like, you know, I don't want my digital footprint to be out there. And to be honest, there's some things that scare me that say, you know what, I think when I have kids, I'm not going to let them be on the internet that much.
At least for a while.
I mean, to be honest, one thing for sure is that you can't really assume now because like every generation changes, you know. So for example, what like remember how like at a very like much older age, like we got access to cell phones, right? Because of our generation, that's when cell phones became like a thing, like they could be used and stuff like that, right? But for example, like now, even you see kids that are like very, very fucking young, right? Have an iPad, you know, like kid is like 2 years old, sitting at a dinner table. There's an iPad there, right? At our view, that's fucked up, but that we can't. There's such a difference between the generations and stuff. That's for one. So like you can't really like unless you're at that stage. I feel like that's the wisest time to make that decision. But obviously, limited access to technology, like not limited access isn't like limiting it, like but like there's like healthy restrictions.
I believe that
will be better.
I believe that restricting kids from that would not make sense because you don't then train them to be responsible. Because look, I can't tell my kids you can't use the internet. I can't tell my kids because there is knowledge in it. But the scary thing is that imagine you're a 4-year-old or 6-year-old. I've seen kids like fucking 3-4 years old that are using iPads better than I ever could. They already know about microtransactions. They already have a footprint. You know, that kid has a footprint. He has to make a Gmail or something like that. You know, like it's scary because already at that age they're able to build a profile on you. Of course, as you said, you know, you can make it healthy in a sense, but and you know we will sort of evolve.
1000%. Like with
the problem is, it's not about the evolving that's the issue for at least me. It's the people that have this information available on you. It's like one time as I said, one time you were, you know, I don't know what you were, intoxicated or whatnot, and you searched something. But then later on, Bardia wanted to become a politician, or Bardia wanted to become someone who was trying to make a stand. They'll undermine you. They'll have every information on you.
Yeah.
Or they can use that to kind of blackmail you.
Yeah, 1000%. But like how technology is going, like
it's kind of like integral part of your life, and you can't.
The expectation is that there will be no more secrets in the future. Like there's not going to be any more.
But then,
like,
what are we then? Are we literally like a symbiote that, you know, or like the way you say it is that there'll be no secrets. So then are you a part of a hive mind or something like that where, you know, everyone's thoughts and everyone's things are...
That's one of the theories of how it's going to go. Like you don't even need to talk to communicate. Like that's what... Like
that's fine. You and I don't need to talk to communicate. We can do it through a neural link, right?
Yeah, but you're still in charge of hiding the parts you want to hide.
No, but not even that. It's like I would understand that so in a hive mind, in a sense, it's like, you know, the information goes to a mind, but that mind is all one person, right? It's all one organism. But the thing is that when you talk about it, especially at the time where there's a data provider, that provider is not you. That is someone else who has full control of your thoughts and all this. Yeah. So that's where it's dangerous. If we were all able to, you know, where it was fully transparent, sort of like blockchain, you know, where everyone is available and understands the information, that's fine. But the thing is that at this day and age, no, your information
to only a few.
To an organization, to a company.
Yeah.
That is what is alarming.
Yeah.
But again, that's...
You don't really get a choice in it, do you?
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, and then that's why...
Just one last point to wrap this up. I forgot to mention, you know that guy I told you that came out of the jungle and like...
Yeah.
They think... So there were the whole court case.
Poor guy, by the way.
Yeah, they were interviewing his wife and his mother and everything, and they were saying he was a completely normal guy, good military history, no history of violence, nothing. The only thing that happened was the guy used to get severe migraines, and he participated in a university study for a medication that helps migraines. So they think that was the connection to how he got involved in it.
And also that guy who was at the psychologist group.
Yes, the Unibomber. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
So that was... I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more to this, and I would suggest to anyone that's interested in this, go read the Chaos book by Tom O'Neill. Apparently, he spent 20 years researching this, so it's probably better hearing from him than me.
No, but it's interesting.
Also available on Audible.
I'm sure it is.
No, it is. I bought it on Audible.
Oh, you did it already?
Oh, you
Okay.
bought it already?
Yeah.
Shit.
Damn. Since the beginning of the podcast?
No.
He had his phone right
A couple of days ago, because I also listened to that Joe Rogan episode.
Oh yeah, so that was my conspiracy number one, but I think you should go next because
No, I want actually the UFO thing. I'm really interested for you to talk about. She's like, "Fuck, man." Do you want to go? No,
hit us with that. Come on.
no,
Kourosh, hit us with
but
that.
speaking of technology, by the way, just like a small sidetrack.
electric dildos.
No,
Can you imagine seeing that flying towards you?
Flying dildos?
Like a UFO and it's a dildo.
That's how
they're called rockets. In case you want to,
No,
they
but-
call rockets.
But you know the whole thing with like drone attacks is that a lot of civilians die.
Yeah.
So instead of like throwing a bomb, you just put a dildo and it goes fuck the dirt. like a Jackass movie, but just like
But how terrifying would that be if like you were the United States and you had a weapon that would just anally fuck someone?
or like it goes up the tube in the toilet. You're just sitting there. You're like,
No, exactly. So like to reduce.
I just
Bro,
feel
can you imagine like there's like a terrorist in a hut or something like that, yeah? And he's like, they're coming, and it avoids everyone. And just,
Aggressively trying to get it in the mouth.
I just feel bad for
you-
that guy that is like,
Actually-
I'm gonna go serve my country. I'm gonna go sign up for the military. Then they hand him in a computer iPad. He's just like fucking someone's mouth.
no, but can you imagine if an alien species came and said, we're gonna solve world wars. We're gonna have a satellite that if anyone misbehaves,
Flying dildo.
oh my god.
You see a portal open and a dildo just comes out of it. Like,
Bro, instead of the movies where the guy jumps and a bullet shoots him, you just see like a dildo. No!
Smack.
They fucked the president. He's dead? No, they just fucked him. No one's gonna
worse,
vote for
man.
they
him.
didn't fuck him up. They fucked him.
Listen, if you kill the president,
He'll be a martyr.
yeah, everyone in the country is gonna be like fucking scared and everything.
Unalive them,
Yeah.
actually.
Bro, he said dead like 13 times. The girl was dead. I'm like unalived in my head. Unalived.
Yeah, but they're gonna champion him like JFK. But
But imagine if JFK got fucked in the
yeah,
ass.
on live TV,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
top of the court.
Bro,
All the respect for the country is
in
gone.
that case, I would really like.
I think we just solved world wars.
I
think we just created a new way for it.
No, I feel like it would really like there would be Putin wouldn't like imagine Putin of all
Bro,
people.
if Putin gets fucking mouth fucked on live TV with a dildo, he's attacking everyone's getting nuked.
No, but then imagine you're the generals who's beside him and said, "Bro, don't give me orders. You just
Yeah,
got butt fucked like." and if I do what you say, yeah, I'll send a nuke, but I'll get butt fucked. You know what I mean?
You're just sitting one day in like Ohio, you just see a fucking whole hive of like flying dildos. They're coming! Cover your assholes!
Bro, imagine Detroit's misbehaving.
Presidents instead of bulletproof vests, they're wearing like metal diapers. Like, they don't get fucked.
You see, they have a meeting. Their asses all on the floor. Why is there no chairs?
Yo, you sound kind of uptight, man. What's up? What's going on with you? Nothing.
Everyone's doing
I was-
butthole exercises.
I was
Just, like,
kind of
fighting
naughty
up.
yesterday.
Bro, you know the horror movies when someone gets stabbed from the back and stuff like,
What's the Secret Service training? Just pull your pants down as quick as you can and jump in front of it.
Mr. President.
Not like that. Mr. President.
He took one for the team. Ah!
You know how they put it in slow motion and just going in and out? Like,
His tombstone is his ass cheeks. One ass to save them all.
he saved the country. Oh. Anyways, about technology.
No,
Can't
UFOs.
have one serious podcast.
No, it was going well.
But yeah, it was.
It was going well, but
Yeah.
it still can go well.
No, I was just
Well,
saying.
who's gonna listen to our fucking facts?
What is that?
After
He's like,
my house? Why am I getting targeted?
oh man.
It's Putin.
Imagine-
I'll put in your ass.
It's like, what's that? Bend over. I've been waiting for this.
Live it up, bro.
Why are you playing onto it, man?
Well, you know.
What? I don't know. Oh, man.
Okay, so UFOs. Tell us about UFOs. I want to hear
Megan,
about
I
it.
swear I can't talk
Wait,
this
can
much
I-
in a row,
okay,
man.
so
this
can
is
I-
the most I've talked in any other of our
Yeah, obviously
Guys,
it's
I'm
not
sorry,
doing well.
my waveform is just fucked.
Yeah.
No, but wait, I'll say this and then we can go. Actually, you go back to it because for one of our next challenges for another month, right? I was thinking except for like work stuff, like in terms of like if you like the business that you own that you have to be on social media for, or even the podcast we have to post the stuff, we don't go on social media for the whole month.
I'm down.
Oh, that's what I do anyways.
Yeah, same. But like,
It's not really like a challenge.
but it restricts you a little bit. Like,
If we still have to do the work stuff, then it's gonna be the exact same amount I do now.
yeah, but like sometimes you don't scroll. Even sometimes.
That'll be very tough for us.
Because I don't go on my personal account.
Yeah,
I
okay,
just
fair
have
enough.
the account for the podcast,
Yeah.
and we don't follow anyone. So it's just if you post a picture after 3 months, or if you post a story, that's it. I don't
Yeah.
really go on social.
Shit,
media.
that's not much of a
Yeah,
challenge.
It's not.
There has to be some way that we can disconnect from technology for a bit because I
I
feel
say
like
we all
our
go to the
phone-
army.
I don't think they. let us
I don't think Kourosh and I will come.
Can you imagine? I'm there with a bag. You okay? These two? Wait outside.
If Kourosh and I have to go to the army, we'll see in 2 years, bro. Like,
in. Well, 3, maybe never.
maybe never.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't say that, man.
Okay, so
We take a long pause for the podcast. Like,
Bro, imagine the next episode, I'm saying both of you were like tanned as fuck. So, Bardia, my name is Khachayar.
we don't. I don't go by that name anymore. I'm number 2.
number 2, number 003.
003.
Yeah.
Sounds so gay. I'm number 003. Hi.
By the way, I don't think we can cover all of it in one podcast unless we do a longer episode.
We can do 2-part episode.
Just remember, I have 1,500 steps left, bro. That's then.
We
Is
can-
yours long or short?
Mine could be long, but like it's more of a discussion thing. How about you go? If you guys agree, we can do a part 1, part 2 podcast, like split it in 2. So this way our podcast won't be like 3 hours long.
Yeah, but then part 2 is gonna be short.
Depends
We'll
on
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
how maybe we do 2 45-minute ones. Like we don't have to like necessarily.
All right. So this one.
Wait, actually, before you say this one,
I said it already. But okay. You go piss?
oh my god,
Oh my fuck!
All right. Let's
There's an earthquake!
let's pause it and then we'll come back.
sorry, we had to take a break. We're gonna get back right into it with another conspiracy theory from Kourosh.
You're running a fucking radio show. What is this today?
It's
Welcome to the Cancellable Podcast.
It's channel 44 here.
Okay, so this one, it's about UFOs. This guy named Bob Lazar. It's just his story. It's not
my
like
God, Bob
specifically.
Lazar.
You know this one? Have you heard of this one?
No.
Okay.
How much conspiracy theories you know,
Dude,
man?
I'm
Like,
This
fucking-
one is very popular and it's relatively recent.
apparently, I've been living under a fucking rock.
Dude,
so it's-
conspiracy
yeah.
theories,
It's
man.
like
It's my
now, was
fucking
telling me
jam.
about the conspiracy theory about like YouTubers and shit. I was like,
If you go deep into it, then you get to some fucking wacky shit.
yeah.
Like if you go deep into conspiracies. So this guy, just to give a background, he was a physicist. He used to work on like nuclear weapons, like just physics shit in general. And then where he was working, he put a jet, like a airplane jet or whatever, on his car, and he was known for that in the city he was living in. Some fucking famous scientist is visiting the town and giving a speech. They meet. A few years later, this guy, Bob Lazar.
Can I ask questions?
Sure. Not, you haven't got
But
into the
ask
story
me a
yet.
question.
No, because like the way his face just shut down was like,
I
bro.
haven't even started yet.
No, because I wanted to ask about the jet, like a.
Jet engine.
A jet engine, not a full fucking jet on a
Okay.
car.
You
dumbass.
I was imagining Back to Future kind of shit, like
Back to the Future doesn't even have a jet in it.
the
jet
thing,
engine.
like the fucking,
The engine.
Yeah, man. Like,
He literally said it was an engine.
okay, bro. Like, come on, man. Get with it. Like,
Anyways.
we're talking about conspiracy theories, bro.
Come on, man.
Sorry.
Did all this
Go.
fucking research for you dickheads.
Why are you calling me dickhead?
Because you're feeding into this shit.
No, I'm explaining.
And dildos flying right here, right now. Like,
Okay, so
Sorry.
this guy moves to Nevada and then starts applying for jobs. Somehow his application reaches that guy that he met a few years ago, the big scientist. He ends up working for Area 51. And for people who don't know, Area 51 is an area in US that they don't quite know what it is for. Some of it's for military testing on nuclear bombs. Some is for chemical weapons. Some they think is for alien technology and all of that. But they can't really prove it because it's a restricted area.
allegedly, though.
Yeah, so it's for like kilometers, it's restricted. So no one really knows what's happening in there. He, according to him, he gets recruited. He goes in there and he has to like fucking fill a bunch of forms for like a security level and all of that.
Yeah.
And based on his description, everything is very
Compromise.
no, like when you put like everyone is working. Yeah,
Compartmentalized?
that one. Yeah. My English is not Englishing.
It's okay, say Farsi.
Yeah, I don't even know it. Unfortunately, to be honest with you.
It's separate.
But anyways, he starts working there, and the main reason he's there, he's hired to work on advanced propulsion systems, and the technology that he's working on is not shit that, like, according to him, is like shit that even to this day we don't have. So he's trying to back engineer this technology that's very unknown in Area 51, specifically in an area called S4, which is the department he was working in that's close to within the Area 51 section.
Can we like say stuff
Yeah,
while you're
yeah,
talking? So like when they say about like this technology that they're not known for, like immediately, I know you're getting more into it, but like immediately, what do you think about? No, you say it's bullshit.
Immediately, I think bullshit.
No, I say like for example, as a country, right? You have a military technology, you have like all these advancements that obviously are not known to the public, right? Like, let's say country A has certain technologies not known to it. But how do you know when that military base, right, is reverse engineering some sort of technology? Maybe it's from country B or country C, or they've discovered. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be like.
Okay, first of all, this was in the 1980s. Okay, keep that in mind. And also, this guy never claimed aliens necessarily. He just said it was technology that, to his knowledge, even to this day, we don't have access to. But people draw that conclusion with the Area 51 and all of that.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Let me get more into the story, and then some interesting parts comes out, and then you can go watch his Netflix documentary and also his Rogan interview and like a bunch of different interviews he did. So this happened 30 years ago, right? All the interviews he's done 30 years ago, because he went public with some of the information, his words match it. Like, you know, when people are lying over the years, the lie falls apart, it changes.
Yeah, they change it
that.
too.
Yeah.
Everything stays the same. Well, anyways, let me get into the story. So he starts working there, and I told you, like, he had to go through like a very significant like military clearance thing. And one of the things was that he has to give access to monitor his calls, his wife's calls, his family calls, to make sure he doesn't have connection to like other governments, or he's not sharing secrets and all of that. At some point, the information, he realizes this information later, but the government finds out that his wife is cheating on him.
Yeah.
And for that reason, they basically classify him as potentially emotionally unstable, and they fire him. He doesn't know this at the time.
Did they at least tell him his wife was cheating on him?
No.
Later on.
Not at the time. I actually remember this episode.
Yeah, so what this guy does is, a few weekends after he gets fired, he takes his friends, because they used to do like flight simulations on, like, for example, Wednesdays at 11 o'clock. He took a bunch of friends with him, weekend after weekend. He has footage of it, that this mysterious fucking airplane that doesn't defy the laws of physics as we can replicate it, not as we understand it, but as we can apply to our airplanes. It's just the plane is going everywhere, and like tic-tac-toe, and the video is online as well. Obviously, it's from the 80s, so the quality is
going
really
from one point to another at an extreme speed that like a regular plane with our current known technology cannot achieve.
Yeah, so they catch him the third weekend he goes there, and then they bring him to like tell him like, what the fuck are you doing, and all of that. After that, they tell him about his wife and why he got fired. Then he's scared that like with all this information he has, they're not just gonna let him go. So he goes, tries to like contact like publishers and like talk to them about it just for his safety. And in a lot of his interviews, he talks about shit in the 80s that was proven in the 2000s. For example, he talks about this theoretical element 115, that no one ever talked about it before. Then 20 years later, when the particle collider thing, accelerator, they like witnessed this element in practice, which is what he was claiming. The physicist Bob Lazar was claiming that like this is the source of energy that creates antimatter that allows the planes to move in a certain way that we can't replicate it. But also like over the years, all the interviews he gave, he hints at like different shit that wasn't proven till like 20, 30 years later. And then everyone was like, oh shit, maybe he was, like, at the time they were thinking he's fucking nuts.
Crazy. Yeah.
And one thing that happened is all of his history suddenly disappeared. So like his history that he was a physicist, his university education, all of that disappeared after he got fired. So everyone looked at him as a lunatic.
Yeah.
He disappears. 30 years later, like all of this shit comes out. what did I want to say? Fuck, I forgot. Oh, one of the things he was saying is like he had a video footage from the 80s, right? Everyone was like, oh, this could be like fake or whatever.
Doctored him.
A few years ago, and a guy named fuck, I wrote down his name. David Favor, I think. He's a military pilot. And a few years ago, the US military, they captured this footage that their jets kind of approached this unidentified object or fucking plane or whatever. And this video is on YouTube as well. And the plane, the way it moves, the way it breaks the sound, like the speed of sound without breaking the sound barrier, all of that, it completely defies physics. And it is identical to how this guy 30 years ago described it. One more interesting part of the story was he was saying that there was a document that he saw that in the document back in the 80s that claimed that humans are products of accelerated evolution, meaning we've been tampered, our DNA has been tampered with and all of that. But he also claims that during those times they were showing him a lot of documents and stuff that he can't prove it was true. Maybe it was false information to see if this guy is going to talk or not.
Or leak, yeah.
Or leak it. So he doesn't claim that like any of this is true. He's a physicist. He likes fucking science, all of that. And like he doesn't like to spread like rumors. And if you watch the podcast he did with Rogan, he's very uncomfortable talking about it. He's not there. He's like, oh, promoting this like woohoo bullshit story. So I don't know. I found his story and his documentary very interesting. And like all the things that he was saying 30 years ago later on became...
Some are like...
And in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, this was not mentioned in the podcast. I just remembered hearing this. I don't know accurately like the information, but I think in 2019, New York Times published a paper based on declassified papers from the U.S. military that UFOs are in fact real, and the U.S. government has evidence of it.
Yeah, that's during Corona they released it.
2019 or 2020?
2020, like during COVID. Like
so to me, this is another conspiracy that to some extent at least you can believe in the guy because the shit he was saying 30 years ago was true but just got declassified later.
Yeah.
You know, for me at least, I don't know about you guys. Look, first of all, what is a UFO? It's an identified flying object. If I threw a frisbee and it was in the air, no one could say what it was, it would be considered a UFO.
Right, but in this context, I think we all know they're not talking
about so you're talking about an extraterrestrial, right? Okay, so extraterrestrial meaning...
Out of Earth.
Out of Earth, yeah. Terrestrial meaning Earth. I myself am an avid believer that there are life forms out there. It's already been proven
100%
that life can live outside our atmosphere. On the space shuttles, you see things known as ice bears, which are little bacteria that, you know, if you put it under a microscope, they look like little bears. And they live on comets and live on very cold temperatures, right? Where life itself doesn't seem to exist. So for me, I wouldn't be shocked if there were aliens, but it then comes down to, you know, if there are aliens and they have given us this technology, then either they're in agreement with a power or, you know, an authority where they won't show themselves.
You mean authority on Earth?
Yeah, on Earth. I mean, like if they're saying they've seen a spaceship, little green men coming out and stuff. If they're you know, I don't know if you guys know Carl Sagan. So Carl Sagan is
I've heard his name.
A very famous astrologist, physicist. You know, he himself talks about extraterrestrials. He has really good. I don't know if you've seen this on Netflix called The Cosmos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that other guy, Neil deGrasse
Tyson. Yeah.
He used to do the original. Yeah, okay. He was the original of that show. And, you know, he mentions it. Even Steve Hawking used to be with him on
the show.
They used to have debates.
Okay.
While Carl Sagan believes that aliens, if we ever were to meet aliens, they'd be very prosperous and very peaceful because they're such a high intellect. But Steve Hawking says that might not be the case because when the Spaniards went to the South America, they destroyed everything and took took everything. So I believe that, you know, there are aliens out there. And it's mathematically proven in a sense because the universe is so big and it's proven to be expanding, meaning that it's getting bigger and bigger. And it's not just, you know, a stagnant area. And already they found, like NASA have found planets that are identical to Earth's conditions. Yeah. And, you know, what makes a human being? You have iron, magnesium, all these different other elements which can be found in space.
That's only if you're considering aliens being some sort of a human-like creature.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But you have to remember, so intelligent life, right, in a sense, has to be a life form, right? Of course, all of these things I'm mentioning for us being the most basic of life forms, right? Already there are the elements of life out there in space.
Right.
You have carbon, which we are made up of. You have magnesium. You have iron. You have all of this that are found out there.
Nothing is unique.
There's nothing unique on Earth which you can't find outside.
Yeah.
So
Beyonce.
so it's not
The
something
queen cannot be
replicated. I hope to God we put that in the video. That plus we'll make a montage of him going. So again,
No, I agree with you. I don't think we're. But
No, but
the whole question is that the whole debate that you were saying between Stephen Hawking and the other guy is that like if they either came or they're gonna come in the future, how would the interaction be, or if there would even be interaction, or it would be just observing because we'll be such a basic bitch compared to them, basically.
yeah. So please.
forgot my point now.
Fuck off.
No,
Like,
no,
I'm not gonna talk.
No, but I get. So let me put you back on track, right?
Okay.
So basically, you were saying that if there is life out there or not, and the interaction with us because we're so basic is what?
Yeah. So like, would they even bother to interact with us? They could study us to see at what stage we are, and also the other thing that like specifically about the Bob Lazar story that I found interesting is if that paper that they showed him that stated that there's evidence of
Acceleration.
acceleration or in general genetic like fuckery with us. When did that happen? How did it happen? By who it happened? Is it just us, a version of us in the future, or like how that works? I feel like that whole concept, although we can't get answers out of it, at least with the knowledge we have, it's just a very interesting way of like approaching the whole alien topic.
Well, I mean, look, if you think about it, it's not something that's far-fetched, right? It's like if there is some form of life out there, which I believe there is, you know, we aren't the first ones we're not the first kids on the block, right? There are planets that are older than us.
Right.
That, you know, for me, the only thing is that either they're observing us in a sense that we'll never see them, which is kind of sad, right? Because you think of it like either we're too dumb to even talk to, and they're like, it's like a family going to a zoo and seeing, you know, like some animal doing something or an ant, and we have to really catch up. Or you even have that fear of maybe we're lucky they don't find us yet, you know? But it comes back to your stories of them being in Area 51 where, you know, I strongly believe a lot of the things they do have, you see, he made a very good point. Bardia made a very good point of discussing about how a lot of technology is actually taken from other civilizations, right? When World War II ended, the Nazi scientists are literally what built rocket propulsion, space program
in Russia and US.
In Russia, when Germany fell, it was a race to grab scientists to make the nuke. All of this came from these people. They pushed forward US and whichever other Russia
mainly.
sort of aeronautical and rocket propulsion years
Sciences
ahead.
in general.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think German scientists were so advanced that like there was this whole
I don't
thing?
have that much information about that.
Like United States, it's not like they like became a top tier.
Speak louder a bit.
Like they became a top tier country after World War II. Like it wasn't like that. It was like from like they were already there. But why was it that like the German scientists were so advanced that after the whole Germany at that time fell, there was this race for the scientists. Like it was that thirst for that knowledge that was untapped by any of the countries, and they wanted to have access to that.
In terms of like a lot of the medical stuff, unfortunately, it was the lack of ethics on human testing.
But like rocket science, like how
That I
how
don't-
fuck
I don't
No,
know
no.
the
So,
answer for that,
so look, you have to think of it like this, right? I think that again, you were talking about a very specialized population already. Germans, you know, they had very good engineers. They had ways of developing things. I'm sure they had a very big fund from the beginning. They were able to research this more, more exposure to being in more wars than America was. So they were able to really ramp up because Germany was in World War I and World War II.
Yeah.
America only went to World War II, right? So
also the lack of democracy.
bro, that thing again, that like for me, I really do believe that history is written by the victor. Because you
100%.
talk about lack of ethics, lack of this. But again, there's no proof as to scientists doing anything. No, you're talking about something different.
If anyone is not saying Kourosh is eyeing the fuck out
No.
of Faisal
What
right
do you
now.
mean there's no evidence? There's pictures.
No. But is that scientists doing stuff to people?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nazi scientists.
the Nazi scientists full on the wait. One of the heads of NASA, there was a picture of him with like
I
this
told you about
the race on the car, right? Like no,
What?
the guy had like fucking like people of a certain race on the car and was just driving and like all this stuff.
I don't see.
I'll show it to you.
This search history.
No, but
No,
I'm
podcast,
talking,
guys.
No, but I'm talking.
No, but there's they would do live scientific testing with scientists on humans without like painkillers or anything.
I don't know. I mean,
that's
look
the thing.
again. I you see again. So I'm not saying that didn't happen, but if you're talking about in terms of advancement in science, we're talking about NASA right now. We're talking about weaponization, right? A lot of people come up with things that's saying that apparently Hitler wanted a guerrilla army. Did you ever hear that?
What? No.
So this is another one of those Netflix things where I was discussing that Hitler wanted guerrillas to make an army of guerrillas that could be controlled. And also Hitler also tried using black magic and the devil to use black magic as a way of winning the war because he was losing, he needed the devil's help. I think this is a lot of propaganda in that sense, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, I mean that does sound like propaganda, but the thing I was talking about lack of democracy is like everyone knows with democracy there's a lot of red tape. That's what I mean. So for example, let's say in a Western country that has like
so they made the nuclear bomb and that
but I'm not talking specifically. Obviously there's scenarios that like it gets overruled, but in general shit takes longer to take effect. For example, if the country is ruled by a dictator and they want to focus on an aspect of a military like experiment, there's no red tape there. If the dictator says it, it's done. It might not be as good quality as when a democratic country does it, the quality control and the level of the scientists and all of
The
that.
gradual.
Yeah, but let's say if they want to do that in UK, there has to be debates. It has to pass the parliament. I'm not talking
no, but
about
you're
the
in war
secret
times.
shit.
But you're in war times. Like
I'm talking in general.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
in
but-
a democracy, everything is slower. In wartime, okay, it becomes faster, but still not as fast as, let's say, if Hitler says do this.
I get what you mean. I get what you're trying to say, but at the same time, so Germans already had very advanced tanks. Had already the V2 rocket, which
Yeah.
was able to like literally level England.
It was the first
Rocket missile,
unpiloted.
unpiloted
Yeah.
missile, right?
Do
So
you know how the technology worked?
I don't.
I watched a documentary on this a long time ago. I think it was like 14 or something. But basically, they would measure the distance it would take from, for example, Berlin to London.
That's crazy, man.
And they would measure at the speed that the rocket would go and for the distance, how much time it would take. And they would set up a timer system that is fucking flying. Once the timer hits 0, the fucking engine just turns off, nosedives
That's
into
crazy, man.
Yeah, that was like
Wow.
the first. I think that was the V1 and V2 were the first unpiloted drone missile type of thing.
And a lot of that, a lot of those scientists, which you say, were, what you came back to in discussing about either being unethical or ethical, whatever. I believe any military, anything that promotes killing someone is considered unethical in a sense, right?
Right.
They pushed space travel and the voyage into space by years, 50 years. You know what I mean? And
basically after that, there hasn't been much improvement.
I mean,
But it's
the ramp up.
yeah,
the ramp up is much
in
different.
comparison to
So-
like the gap they've covered from then till now. It's
I mean, also maybe we can even think about it like this: this guy, the Lazar guy that we were talking about,
Bob
right?
Lazar, yeah.
You were saying that like the military had access to certain information and was experimenting on stuff, right? That now we're coming to like realization that, oh my god, this is possible or stuff like that, right? Maybe back then it wasn't as like closed off, right? And like that's what the military, like that's what the other countries wanted. That's like the secrets that the military knew about that their militaries didn't have access to, and that's what they wanted to raise up and take it. Like maybe you get my point because you look confused. Like for example, like you said, like oh they had access to this sort of like aircrafts and stuff like that, right? So imagine the German military like had a lot of shit, right? But wasn't closed off. Wasn't like oh there's a secret base working on it, and there's certain classified military people who have access to it, right? But back then it was just all the military had access to it. The U.S. government, like the Soviet Union, Russian government had already access to certain stuff, right? Okay. But they wanted that closed off information that only the military knew. So that's what they wanted to take it. Maybe it wasn't that advanced was like, oh, they are the only advanced country, but each country had their own like secret stuff and like.
Well, the theory with this one is obviously this wasn't even like Bob Lazar wasn't even like saying this, but it's that usually with these sort of technologies that is years and years and years ahead of what we can replicate, what the militaries do is like, regardless of where it came from, right? If something is way ahead of our technology and our capability of understanding how it works, is they do some research on it till basically the physics we understand at that point is like, it can't push it further. They pack up the project, puts it away. 10 years later, we come back to it.
Yeah.
Do as much as we can, pack it up. But he was saying that this airplane system or this flying source, whatever you want to call it, was so ahead of his time that even what he described 30 years ago still can't be replicated.
Yeah.
But the same, everything that he described is shown in the video that I think in 2015 or 16 was captured by this David, put away his name, David Favor, I think, the pilot for the U.S. military was captured. So like the whole conspiracy theory, like with this one, it wasn't necessarily just UFOs, but it was the Bob Lazar story that I found more interesting, because I feel like the whole conversation about UFOs is so open-ended and you can't really prove nothing. You just like talk in circles about it. That's why I picked this one.
I think it's an interesting topic. Sorry.
No.
So,
but just to be clear, anything that was said in this episode, we gave you all the sources and all of that. Go look into it for yourself. Whatever conclusion you get to it. Obviously, none of the stuff we said was a fact or even close to a fact.
And do not source us, basically.
Yeah, we just heard it from a source that heard it from a source type of thing. So I think we should call the episode here because it's been like an hour, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think depending on how this episode gets like welcomed by the viewers that we have so far, we could do this more often, like do like I don't know, one conspiracy episode a month or once every
because like the ones I want to talk about was like ancient civilization.
I think we should do one episode, like
conspiracy episode.
Yeah, like one. No. I mean like one subject or one topic, because I mean his one. We're all gonna have to bring up examples. We're all gonna have to discuss it.
No, that's why I didn't want to talk about it, because I knew it was gonna take a long.
You're not gonna give it any like props for it being only 15 minutes. It's
the military thing. Can I say something?
Are you coming?
No, sorry, I'm scratching my eyes. The military thing. I wanted to add something. Not sourcing anything or anything like this is not a fact. I'm just like saying something like I heard or read. I don't remember exactly. It was the fact that like the military of I don't even remember which country was like trying to like see if they can achieve travel in different
interdimensional
dimensions, and there was a ship, right, full of people, and when they like what they wanted to do was to see if they can achieve a travel in time. But what concluded from it that the ship disappeared and appeared again, but it didn't travel in time. It traveled in a dimension. And when it came back, majority of people were dead. Some were like half of their bodies were missing, as in like they didn't come back fully.
What is this?
Like, what do you mean? What is this?
Like is this an actual thing that happened?
Is it a movie
this,
or like
no, this is an actual thing that they tested and happened. I don't remember which country it was and all that, but and the only people who were like full and they were alive, they've gone fully mentally crazy. They couldn't comprehend reality or what was going on and everything like that.
Okay, can you bring this for next episode with a little bit more detail? Because now I'm so curious.
Bro, can you also give us that shit to read or something like that?
Okay, I'll look at it.
It's in China?
I don't remember which country. I'll look into it and let you know.
I think it's a movie, man.
Bro, they lived for a long time. I don't think they would have come back that.
Like, yeah, that's the scary part. Like they finally, because there were certain things on the like present on the boat that like the ship that were not of this, like the elements and everything present was not of this reality.
Okay. Stop.
Yo,
this.
what the
Stop
fuck
it.
is this?
You can't just bring this out last minute.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode of whatever the bullshit we talked about. Make sure you like, subscribe, and also check out our social media channels. And see you next week.
Goodbye.
The fuck was that bombshell, man?
I swear to God,
There were things
last
on the
second,
ship.
like they changed dimensions. They came back dead, and they were all crazy.